V here, coming to you for our first show podcast, Conversations in Different Prisons. We want to start at San Quentin Prison, but eventually we're going to come to a lot of prisons close to you. And if you feel like you want to be part of this, send us a line. Dot down to Pearl or any of us and let us know you're interested in us coming to your prison. We'll come to a prison near you soon. How you feeling today?
I'm ready.
Okay, so we both work together. I do a lot of the work inside the prison as well as he do. And it's interesting that I write letters to support them coming out, and he actually housed them. So if an inmate needs, we call them, the system call them inmates, but we call them formerly incarcerated persons, citizens. But if they need housing, they're getting ready to be paroled, he would write a support letter saying that he will house them. I would write a support letter saying I will come pick them up. I will be a mentor, whether it's LA to the Bay. You do a lot more. Can you share a little bit more what you do?
I really have a passion for just helping them have a smooth transition. You know, it's one thing to be prepared in there, but when you come out here, it's challenges that you haven't experienced in years, sometimes decades. And I just want them to be best prepared for that. So we talk about real life issues of how technologies are taking over the world, public transportation. You know, I talk to them about relationships because that's a big thing. A lot of them come out and the relationship is one way in there, but when they come out here, it's a whole different ball game.
Let's talk about that a little bit, because I even went through a little bit. Even though I've been out 10 years now, going on 11 years, I noticed that for me, I went in prison at the age of 17 years old. And for me, I think, I might be wrong, but my development as far as relationship, it stopped right there because I wasn't able to exercise relationships, getting heartbroken and all that. It was just in prison, you know, and when I got out, it was like, oh, I'm learning things that I should have learned when I was, you know, a teenager or a young adult, but I didn't have that life, and you the same way. How has that been for you?
It's been a roller coaster ride. You know, I went in at 17 as well.
Yeah.
And we got a sense of arrested development when it comes to those intimate relationships. You know, even the relationships that I formed in prison, it wasn't the same as when I got out.
Right.
And it's like you're in someone else's space,
Right.
and then they're getting used to you being in their space, and you getting used to people like nagging you and having these expectations. You know what that is? You know.
Yeah. And then we got a hot topic right now. It's somebody that we both know that I'm his mentor, and he's been out now for a year, and he came out with good intentions, like we all come out with good intentions to do what's right, get a job. If you got a drug problem, go to a program, get yourself together. I picked him up, took him, I don't want to say his name, took him to a program in Northern California. And I grew up with this person. And he called me and told me he wanted to go back to where his crime committed and help his mother. But he wasn't telling the truth. He wasn't honest. He really wanted to go back and be with his old girlfriend. You know how it says in the meetings, always and all that? That's what it was. And I sent it, but I can't tell him, right? I had to learn on my own. So we all know that in recovery, I can't do his program. He has to do his own program. I have to do my own program. And this person, I called him yesterday and today, left messages. He hasn't returned my call or anything. That means he's back on that cycle, vicious cycle, just spinning. And I don't know if he's gonna come back. He may make back, he may not. As a lot of people in society been seeing, a lot of people been dying off of this fentanyl. And they got special stuff out there that I don't really know about. Maybe you know because you're a counselor and all that.
They got so much stuff.
Yeah, could you elaborate on all that stuff?
Well, it's like fentanyl is in everything now. They lace it with the marijuana, they lace it with the methamphetamine, they lace it with the opiates. They make regular heroin even super stronger by adding little pieces of fentanyl to it. And a lot of times people just don't even know what they're taking because everything is so laced now because the ultimate goal is to get you as high as you can be so you keep coming back. And when someone it's unfortunate, when somebody hear about someone ODing, It's just like your prison. Everybody want to know where that stuff at, and it's sad. It's like,
yeah. And some more things we do. We pick up people from prison. Like we gotta pick up a female from Chowchilla, I think April. I'm not sure. April 3rd at 7 a.m. And what we do, you pick them up too. He pick them up too. So what I do is I pick them up at 7 a.m. I'm at the prison. I report inside, let them know I'm here to pick up this individual, and then the bus or the van will bring them out to a designated area. And if somebody's there to pick them up, they will let them release them to whoever's there. But if nobody's there to pick these people up, they put them back in a van or bus, and they take them to the nearest train station or bus. They don't release them from the prison and release them there. And while they're there, I observe a lot of people, I don't want to say the word, but they're there with drugs and everything, selling them as soon as they get out. And and I can just watch them there, and I watch and see people that's really about their sobriety. You can see it because they can talk one way inside prison, and when they get out, we're the ones that pick them up and give them a ride home. But we're not the police. So what I do is, I used to pick up everybody, but I stopped. I only pick up people that's been through my class that I personally know, because I realized when I was picking up everybody, a lot of people was just passing my name out. Yeah. And you got two types of people in prison. You got the people that's like in and out all the time, and then you got lifers that's been in a long time. Those are the ones that I really pour into. The ones that's in and out, this is what they do. I'll pick up 4 of them at one time. I'll tell them, look, I'm not the police. I'm gonna give you a gift card. I'm gonna buy you a meal. I'm gonna do all these things for you. Don't do nothing wrong while you're with me. They say, okay, Mr. Williams, we'll go to Walmart, we'll get them this stuff. And when they get in the car, they're not smoking in my car, but I can smell cigarettes. Sometimes I can smell weed. I could smell alcohol on them. They're not supposed to be doing these things, but I'm not the police. So that makes me say, hey, we can't pick up those type of people no more. We have to really know who we're working with. Right. Have you ran into those type of situations where?
Unfortunately, I have.
Yeah, see.
And what always run through my mind is like, where did you get that? You just walked out here between there and from the prison to my car. You done found a way to get you some contraband. Mm-hmm. You know, they like, oh, stopped off or asked somebody right there before you came. I was like, it's too much of a high risk situation for the ones that are really trying to change their life. Mm-hmm. You know, so we got 3 or 4 people. We make a couple of stops, and you know, you gotta let them get out. You gotta let them use the restroom. You go to the gas station. You're doing these things, and some of them in there just willing and dealing quick. Right. You know, especially the alcohol. I'm like, you just got out. It ain't even been 24 hours. You got an open container in my car, and and you have to test. Yeah. You know, talking about how to beat the test already. I'm like, that just mentality is just not good for my energy, and it doesn't paint the picture that we want to paint in regards to dealing with people that's transitioning back outside. We trying to combat recidivism. They ask to go right back in. Right. Call that throwing rocks at the prison.
Right. Bring a friend with them when they come out. Yeah. So we were actually the first ones that were doing the pilot ride home when COVID first hit. Nobody was out on these streets but us, and we did a video showing you how to to put plastic in your car to keep yourself safe and to really have these guys safe too coming out of prison. And the governor gave, I think he gave us like 5,000 people that need to be released. And it was a lot of money put to that. And he and I was part of the crew that was picking all these guys up, the whole state of California, all these prisons. We pulling up, they're letting them out 4 and 5 at a time. We're meeting up. He would have a car, I would have a car. No, vans. Cause it was multiple people. We would meet up somewhere, have lunch, and everybody was having speeches. It was cause wasn't nothing going on during COVID. Yeah. Everything was shut down. And that was when a lot of stuff changed. Right. And we've been pouring into other prisons as well. Like we're in Reno now. We go to high desert prison, but we fly into Reno. We've developed relationships here in Reno, and we've been actually doing movies out here. We done met with the community out here and developed relationships with a lot of youth out here. So we bringing our program is not only in California, we're now in Reno, Sparks, Nevada, and where else was it? Downtown, where we at right now.
Yeah.
And we're gonna be expanding out here, pouring more into Reno and coming to other states as well. We want this to go nationally. As y'all know, I'm in Harry Belafonte's movie called Sing Your Song. I have a book based on my relationship with him, which has always been about peace. He taught us about peace, to be peace warrior. We used to be gangsters and bad people years ago. And through trial and error, and Harry Belafonte, Danny Glover, a lot of people came inside our prisons and gave us their programs. And we really accepted these programs and really applying them. And this book I have is everything that Harry Belafonte taught me and shared with me about peace. And that's what we need in our communities. We need peace. Like, we were gang members and really was about it, violent and doing what gang members do. Now that we're not into that, we're still radical pushing a line on peace. We're pushing a peace line. Nobody is doing that. And we want everybody to join in, and we want to have peaceful marches. We want to have anything related to peace. We want to bring to this community anything that can help benefit this community.
We want to bring the communities together. We want to have a dialogue. We want to be able to work out our differences. I mean, it's only us. Only the ones who save us is us. So it's just like putting a forum together, making it a safe place for people to open up and share what's really on their mind, what's on their heart, and see whatever's BS, let that go and come together so we can get some things done. You know, we got the little ones coming up and they watching us and they watching us die, they watching us go to prison, they watching some of us succeed and don't want to come back. And I don't want to be one of those. I don't want to be the ones that make it and then be like, oh, I got out of there, I'm done. Because these are still my community. These are my nieces, my nephews, my brothers, my sisters are still in those communities. And if they don't see, especially being male, they don't see the male figure come back and teach the young males how to be males, then the cycle going to continue. And that's what we're all about. We're about breaking that cycle of homelessness, addiction, and incarceration.
And that's the cycle that we didn't get. We didn't go from the cycle of boys becoming men. We just went straight to gangs, and it was, and the gang stuff was like this. It was like, we're realizing now that everybody that was our shot callers or people that was older than us and introduced us to this life, most of them are illiterate. So if we're following illiterate people, that's what happens. We need to have educated people. I have a bachelor. What you have?
A bachelor's.
We have bachelor's degree. So when we got these degrees and elevated our minds, we let go of those things go when we was child. Like when we was 14, we don't do those things. And a lot of people come out and they pick up the same stuff that they supposed to have let go when they was in prison. They did like 30, 40 years, and they come home, and I get it because the community is thinking that they're the same person. And when they come out, the community go, hey, well, they say that nickname when they don't even go by those nicknames in prison, right? And they slowly come back to who they was before they went in there, and it's a fear of being successful, a fear of, like you and I, we didn't go back to LA or Compton. We went to Berkeley, Northern California, and I was like, wait, I really want to be here? But once I made that step to start walking and being out here, I'm like, it's not that bad, right? If I did 32 years in prison in Northern California, somewhere where I wasn't, this is nothing. And I learned with my backpack, walking, learning the community, meeting people. Oh man, I learned so much walking through Berkeley, and I just want to just.
It was a culture shock too.
Yeah, it was a culture shock for you too. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna take a break and come right back.
Yeah, I just got here. I'm about to leave in a minute, though. So I'm just getting a little rest, drinking some coffee. Hold on for a minute, man. What's up?
Man, you from around here, Jay?
Yeah, I'm from around here. Hold on for a minute, man. I'll call you back, bro.
Hey man, I'm an author, right? New author of Rites of Passage. I'm trying to teach kids, boys to become men and girls to become women. I run an organization called Choice for Freedom.
Mm-hmm.
I try to restore justice into them by pouring into things that they don't get out here, like jobs, like education,
Really?
like things I didn't get when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But now that I'm older, I want to give back. Okay, we're back. We're gonna start talking about reentry. So some of the guys we've been working with has been going to Dream Center, and some of the guys has been going to GO, and the ones at GO has been complaining. So I'd rather take them to the Dream Center instead of GO. What have your experience been with dropping them off with Dream Center or GO?
It's been challenging. I mean, I understand where they're coming from. One transitional living environment resembles a lower level prison, the way they run it, because CDC pretty much runs one of them. And then the other one is funded by CDC, but they have a different type of structure. You get a little more freedom. I would like to just let the men and women know, first off, you're free. This is something temporary. This is not your home. So just, trust the process. Just go through it, learn what you need to learn while you're there. And no matter 90 days to 6 months, that'll be all behind you too. I'd say because Dream Center could only hold so many people, And I seen this so much of a problem until I was like, you know what, I invested my own money, I emptied out my savings and opened up the House of Solace. So people have an opportunity to get a different kind of place. But I want that to be a therapeutic community. I want them to go there, it's peaceful. I want them to have that tranquility. You've been there, you've seen a big old huge deck where you can sit out and watch the sunset.
Right.
I want them to have that therapeutic environment so they can focus on them before they try to rush back into their family and being the man of their family, when you first got to learn how to be the man you are in there out here. Because this is you reinvent yourself, so this is a whole new identity that you have to introduce other people to that have been knowing you since you was a baby. And keep in mind, anytime you wait from 5, 10, 15 years from society, you're going to have this arrested development because you're going to be locked into a mind frame of whatever year you went in.
Yes.
So for you inside the walls, time kind of stopped. And a lot of people don't realize that, but the ones that do become really successful because they learn how to ask for help during their transition. They be like, hey, I don't know how to use this tap card. I don't know how to catch public transportation. When I was left the streets, they just had RTD. Remember that? The old Rough, Tough, and Dangerous?
Yeah. Richard Thomas Davis.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of people been talking about coming. What about the restitution? Like coming out, knowing that they have to pay these restitution, not the restitution, the child. Child support.
Oh, yeah. And, I mean, technically, you've been gone. If you have the means and the resources, I just don't want them getting caught up in the problem. I'm trying to get them to look at the solution. If you've been gone and you still got a child that's underage, you're blessed and fortunate enough to still come into that child's life and during their formative years.
Right.
So that should be more motivation. You get your job, pay the child support, and if it's too high, try to ask for a little leniency based on the income you're bringing in, because they're going to look at it that you are transitioning. But the bigger picture is being able to provide for that child so you can have a rapport with them and start building a relationship with them so they won't have this big old gap where all this resentment. When I came home, my daughter had some resentment. I was always there writing, sending her drawings, getting crafts like you used to make in there and sending it to her. But still, she needed her dad there.
Right.
So as much as she say she loved me, when I came home, it was still that resentment there. You missed this, you missed that. And I try to share those experiences with them so they'll know that it's not about you. The child support is not about you. The SLE, the transitional house, is not about you. It's about everybody that was impacted by you being gone during that incarceration and you showing them that you're making amends by doing the next right thing. Even when everyone's looking.
Right.
That makes a difference. Everybody tell me, integrity is doing the right thing when no one is looking. I said, you can do the right thing when no one looking. The problem is when everybody looking, can you handle doing the right thing when that peer pressure is on?
Right.
You know how that is.
Right. So a lot of guys is still battling with drugs. Unfortunately, we mentor these guys, and we can't be the ones that make them change. They have to hit rock bottom and come back. But we're always there for them.
Right.
What are some of your techniques that you think that we should be applying to the ones that we don't want to give up on?
Right.
They keep going back to the pro, going back, getting tested for drugs and going back to the program, starting over. They keep starting over.
Yeah.
Right.
I think a lot of the times what it is the pressure. The pressure they put on themselves to hit the ground running. That's always what people, I gotta get out of here, I gotta get this, I gotta hit the ground running. I done lost 20 years. You right, you done lost 20 years.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna get those back.
Right.
So being in there, and what worked for me, I went through the drug and alcohol program. I'm in the 50, the film that they put out. So now that I go into prisons, and I teach the same way that I was taught how to be a drug and alcohol counselor. I give that tool to them. I was like, you know what? The best way to stay clean and sober, the best way to stay free of crime and violence is to work with other people that's involved in that or getting involved in that, because you can hold them accountable and they will definitely hold you accountable. It's like that 12 step. In order to keep what you have, you got to give it away.
Right.
So I really try to make sure those principles are there and live by example. I know coming out, they're going to get in dating scene, and most people that get caught up in that is during the dating scene. They pick partners that's already drinking, that's already smoking. You on parole, so now you over there indulging, and then you're trying to drink a gang of water, they're trying to beat your test, and not knowing when your parole agent going to come.
Right.
Why not just being comfortable in your recovery and just tell, you know what, you do what you do, but I can't do that. I need to stay focused, I need to be clear and not risk your freedom just for social acceptance, even from your partner.
Right. Okay, we're gonna take a break and come right back. Today, if you wouldn't mind bringing, some of your folks, just sit down and listen to what I gotta say. It's all about peace. Nothing, no gang, nothing to put you in jail. It's all about elevating this community. I see a whole lot of things we can do in this community, but we can't do it. You know what I'm saying? With stuff going on around here, because you're from here, right?
Yeah. I kind of been feeling like that over the years, just to have nobody to come, motivate us to do anything. But, it's a lot of stuff going around here, so it's kind of hard to, convert,
Yeah.
But I feel you, and I think, I like to come check you out.
And I got some for the ones that don't want to come or thinking that they don't know what it is. I'm gonna bring some food. What kind of food you think they'll like?
Soul food.
Okay, I got your soul food. We got that. Okay, what about some gift card? I bring like 25. How much money to give them so they feel like their time is worth something? They ain't just coming just to be coming, right? I'm gonna make it simple. I got $25 gift card, $50 gift card, or $100 gift card. What you think we should give them? Now I'll pay you too, just to bring them up there.
I think you should start with the 25.
Okay, 25. I give you $100 one just for being the person to bring them, and it's all about we can run programs like this book also has a curriculum that goes with it. So I think every black man and every black boy and every black woman and every black girl should read. They should be exposed to what Harry Belafonte, what I had to say, and what you had. Once you come and sit down, what I'm about to share with y'all, you're gonna have a view of what you can do with this book and this manual for this community. I think, in my opinion, I just want y'all to come out and hear what I gotta say. And I'm gonna give you something to eat. We're gonna have some soul food. I'm gonna put something in your pocket for a good time.
I think I can bring the homies through, a few homies through this kind of on our schedule.
That's what I'm talking about.
I appreciate it.
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock?
2 o'clock.
I got you.
Bam. We're back now from our break, and we want to. So we're gonna talk about anger. For me, my anger, I have to really breathe. I have to do a lot of things to control myself. One is breathing, recognizing my breathing. Another is think. Like if I'm faced with an issue, I would run it by 5 times, right? To get rid of what I feel as though like the man part of me wants to just mess up all the time. But the human part, the real part of me wants to breathe, wants to be calm, wants to be forgiving, wants to be all these things. But if I don't breathe, I'm like, no, I'm angry. Right. So I'm learning to breathe now, have patience and really listen to people, and even throw it back sometimes. Like, let me hear you say what I really heard you really say was that I really pissed you off or whatever, and you give it back to, yes, I really said that.
Right.
So I can listen to people now. Before, I thought I knew everything. And sometimes I still do. Feel though some
Right.
things I do know, but even though I know it, I know I shouldn't be doing that. I should walk into a room like I'm a student, even if I know stuff, and observe.
That's growth.
Right.
You know, I'm thinking back, you know, when I first went in there, they used to call me Angry Man. It was like, yeah, that go Angry Man. I was always mean mugging everybody, and I was small, so, you know, I got to hitting the weights and I became even more angry. You know, walking around like, don't say nothing to me, don't say shit.
Yeah. Did you have them dark glasses on too?
Nah, I didn't do the dark.
See, I had those.
I wanted to look at them.
I had
The
those,
looks.
but those were just something to keep people away from me, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I even slept in them. I slept in them.
That's crazy.
Shades.
That's crazy. I used to just pull my beanie down real low.
Yeah.
And I walked around all the time, my fist balled up.
Yeah.
So when I see the youngsters doing that, and then when I look back, I was like, you know what? All that anger was just learned behavior.
Right.
You know, when you just said learning about stopping, thinking, breathing, playing the tape all the way through, as they say in 12-step, I seen the most respected people was the one who had anger issues. Everybody like, oh, there you go. Even my pops, they was like, oh man, that dude ain't no joke. My pops was a big old dude, but he had some real anger issues. You know, he came up in the military, so that's where I got that learned behavior from. He's like, you gotta sit up straight, you gotta do this. If somebody say something to you, you gotta be quick to respond. You ain't as big as the rest of us, so you're gonna have to get off first. And I took that philosophy and that mentality, and it made me hard inside. You know, so when I finally broke through that process and realized, you know what, anger is a secondary emotion. I got to look at what's the primary emotions, the hurt, the fear, the frustration. But mine, it was always frustrated. I was always frustrated with something in life. If it was the food, I didn't like the food. I'm frustrated about that. I'm frustrated I can't get on the phone. I used to want to fight them over the weights. You know, when they had the weights before they took them, I was just finding everything to be angry with to keep people away. And then deep down inside, I didn't want to keep everybody away, but I felt safer keeping them away. And I see so much of that now in our males coming out. Even our females. The females are pretty angry.
Right.
You know, I was like, what they doing in y'all? Y'all don't got no anger management in there?
Right.
They be like, shut up. You know, because they got the family dynamic system going on in there.
Yeah.
They got sis, mom, aunties.
Right.
They're more closely bonded. But then when they feel some kind of way when they have to lead that. So the role that they had in prison, where they may have been the auntie or the mom, now they're getting out there, they the daughter or the baby, because they're scared going out into a world that they're unfamiliar with now. But inside that other world, they ran the yard. You know, they was mama. Everybody went to them. The new recruits came in and talked to them, and the fishes and all them came in and spent time with them, and they taught them how to survive in there and nurtured them. Now they coming out to the world from being dominant to being one that needs to be nurtured. Like you turning back into a baby bird out here. So the women really have some challenges, and they have challenges in getting housing too.
Right.
So, and then the biggest challenge they have is all of a sudden they get out and then, you know, guys are on them. Like they look different. They got a glow. They've been gone. They've been eating. They like us when we come out. You know, you've been taking better care of yourself, and then you carry yourself with a lot more confidence. So that kind of put a spotlight on them. A lot of them can't handle that spotlight. You know, they've been existing in a place where it's just been other women, and it's been, you know, the regular guard thing go on, but it's been other women. But now they out here with the male species, and you know, we come with our own baggage.
Right. And then we got people that's been out here that look at you and like, how's you doing what you doing? I should be doing what you doing, right? Like they feel entitled or that
they take your place quick, without paying their dues.
What do you call that? We need to put a name on, because it's the people that do that. We need to say, hey, that person, whatever it is, like hater, it's something that's different that they do, that they see in you and me. And I work for everything I got. Before, when I was hustling, I lost stuff. It didn't mean nothing to me. But now, I'm not trying to lose everything I built and you not either.
Right.
So it hits different. It's like people look at you like when you say I don't have money to shit. I don't have money to loan you right now. Man, you got. Come on, man.
But I got grown man business though.
Right.
I got bills to pay.
Right, and they don't understand that.
Right.
And it's like, I'm finding myself cutting people off just because of that. Because you want every time we come around, it's about, can you help? Can you help me?
Your hands look like cups. That's why I be telling them, your hands starting to look like cups. They always like this.
Right. And I can show you how to make money or get you a job, but they don't want that. They don't want to go to work. They don't want to be responsible for themselves. And that's another soul that we can talk about.
Yeah.
Right?
You know, one of the things that bring that towards us, they see we got empathy and compassion, so they take our newfound kindness
That's what it is.
for a weakness of thinking we just so kind-hearted. We kind-hearted with our information. We kind-hearted with our time.
Mm-hmm.
We can't afford to be kind-hearted with our money. We got grown man business.
Right.
We got mortgages to pay. We got car notes to pay. Insurance. We got to have life insurance, something we never thought about.
Right.
And they just looking at it like, you got it, you look good, you working, you should be able to help me. I'm trying to help you the right way. What's the old saying? You teach a man how to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. You give him a fish, he'll eat for a day. You teach him how to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime.
Yeah.
We're trying to teach them how to fish.
Right.
And they don't want to learn how to fish. They want us to keep feeding them the fish.
Right.
We go out and catch it, bring it home. I'm like, oh no, this is
Right.
not going to happen like
Right.
this, and it's enabling them. So
Right.
those that do it, enable them. They'll never really fully grow up, and that's why that crime, a revolving door to crime, is still there.
Right.
Wanting that instant gratification.
For the ones that's already set. But the youth we work with are different, because the youth we work with, they come in our circle. We give them gift cards, we give them food to come, and we talk about stuff. And these youngsters be saying, they come with their shot caller, and they be saying, they keep looking at their shot caller. When you ask them questions, they'll look at him, and then they'll answer. And then they'll stop looking at him, they'll just start answering.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll start saying, I like it here, because we talk about stuff we don't talk about in the hood here.
Right.
And then some of them have even said, wait a minute, while they're eating their food, telling each other, this is our plug. They talking about plug. This Nate and Ali is our plug.
Right.
They giving us $50 gift card every week. They're giving us money and telling us something how to stay out of jail.
I've seen the guy that has the job now, thanks to you guys, and then he's called his supervisor and say, oh, I need to go to church. I need to feed my spirit.
Right.
And he went to church to hear you speak.
Right, he came to church.
He's supporting you now.
Right, and he's not. It's 3 or 4 of them in there like that, right? He came, and that person right there, his mother thanked me, but don't want me to know. And you see how it works,
Right.
but people are watching us, and we're the ones that we're the problem, and we're the solution.
Right.
And I think more people should invest in you and I, your organization and mine together, because we teaming up together to really come strong with these kids, really pour into them. Just like we was gang members, we're pouring into peace. We're pouring into all these things that hurt, these emotions that they're going through that they don't want to talk to, that you and I work through.
Their belief system.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the crazy thing, I just want to touch bases on this, about the belief system.
Mm-hmm.
Prison, jail was our rite of passage. So when I saw the Harry Belafonte, your book, I looked, it said rite of passage.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that's changing the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
Because I still work with kids today who be like, oh, as soon as I get out the halls, or as soon as I get to the halls and get out the hall, I'm gonna have this respect. That's no longer our rite of passage.
Right.
Our rite of passage is getting into a HBU. Our rite of passage is you getting good grades, getting a scholarship. You getting good grades, getting some college credits while you in high school, and getting your permit and getting your car because other people see you doing what you're doing and they willing to invest in you. That needs to be the new rite of passage. And when we have those rare young men that finally, it's like, I finally got a male figure in my life, it's our responsibility to help guide them through that. And also it's our responsibility to do what other people didn't do for us. Our big homies didn't tell us the truth. They should have been told me prison wasn't no right. Ain't nothing cool about squatting and coughing. Ain't ain't nothing cool about eating cold meals and sleeping on a steel bed.
Let's talk about, because a lot of people don't know, when we go to prison, When we get on that bus, we're butt naked. They take everything off you, strip you, and then you gotta stand next to each other and wait on them to call you by your last name, and then it's a number. They turn you into a number for however long you in prison, right? That's a feeling of being like.
That's the closest thing to slavery.
I didn't want to say that, but
I'm
that's
gonna
how I
say
felt.
it.
That's how I felt.
That's the closest thing
going
to
through that
slavery.
whole process, being on that
Bus
that
with the chains,
and
you know.
you walk in and they telling you to be quiet, and oh man, I'm getting triggered just listening to
How
that.
about walking in there like we do now and being able to walk out but still look back and see some of those sad faces like, are y'all gonna come back? You
Right.
know, that kind of always tug at my heart a little bit. And still, when sometimes I walk in and they like, you don't need to go through the metal detector.
Right.
I'm like, no, I'm gonna go through just in
Right.
case, cause I'm always paranoid that something might happen.
Right.
But they like, why you went to the metal detector? You don't have to go.
Right.
I looked at some of that institutionalized still in a way like, if somebody get caught with something in our class, you might think nope.
Right. You're gonna go through.
Don't do me no favors. Let me go through there.
Right.
But going through there is also a constant reminder that, you know what, anybody could take this walk.
Mm-hmm.
But the ones that don't take this walk is the ones who learn how to regulate their emotions, the ones that learn how to process their thoughts, the ones who teach themselves some de-escalation skills when they're going through that troubled moment.
Right.
And we got to break this cycle, and the way we break it is just being us and who we are, and not just making it about the money. What I hate is they give the money to these other organizations.
Mm-hmm.
You experience that firsthand.
Yeah.
That don't do the work.
Right.
We do the work and we begging.
Right.
You know.
And speaking of money, a lot of people don't know when we fought to get inside the prisons, they didn't want to let us in there first.
Right.
So we fought headquarters, went all the way to headquarters, battling. And when we got to the top, the people said, we're going to evaluate all these CDC programs. And they evaluate their own programs. They was all deemed failures, and that's how we got in there. But this is the thing, we all fought to get paid, to get these contracts. These contracts that they pay you and I, you know where that money come from?
Texas.
No, it comes from inmate welfare. So when we originally was fighting,
I learn something new every
when
day.
we was really fighting, and I'm not supposed to be talking about this because a lot of people dropped the ball. We were supposed to be fighting for, we're gonna accept this inmate welfare money right now.
Yeah.
Inmate welfare money is for the guys inside, the basketball, the baseball, all the dominoes. That money is to buy that stuff, right? That's the budget that they paying us up out of. Not the police budget, not the guards budget, not the teachers budget, not the everybody in prison that works in there is under a big budget, the regular budget, but us. So you and I are from incarcerated. It feels to me like they're still treating us like
inmates.
I don't want to say that or slave, because why are you paying us out of a
slave
inmate? But you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's where that comes from. And they said after 2 or 3 years, they was gonna revisit it and put us into the other budget or pot of fund, but nobody's complaining and nobody's giving us that fund.
Right.
Nobody's giving it. But yeah,
I didn't
we're
even
still.
know it came out of that. So
Yeah, it's inmate welfare. A lot of y'all know that. We'll go for a break and we'll be right back. My name is Nate Williams. I'm the Executive Director of Choice for Freedom. This is my personal secretary right here. Introduce yourself, sir.
Me, member of the community, activist.
Chase, another member as well, activist as well. Alan, nice to meet you.
And I am Pearl J.
The reason why we're all here today is I specialize in peace, bringing people together that come from different races, backgrounds, statuses, to bring change. There's been several murders in this city, and we need to stop allowing people to do what they've been doing, criminal things around here. I mean, I used to be a criminal at one time, but things have changed. I'm tired of seeing our community, and I want to bring certain people here that I think in this community that can weigh in. This is one of the ones that I really, a key person that's been around, that knows everybody in this city. But yet, and I wanna put it out there, have not stood up for the community. And I wanna know your opinion on what can we do as a community, this table, each one of us can weigh in on what we can do for this community to bring it up to where we're all safe. We ran out of time, and we would like y'all to come back next week, same time, same show. If you can, donate to choiceforfreedom.org.
I really appreciate if you share this podcast, leave a comment, spread the word. You know, we're just trying to make a difference. So please, we spread the word. We thank you for tuning in and hope to see you again soon.